Sam is he is sort of leader of the group, and he's been heisting or doing credit card fraud the whole way through university, really, and he sees an opportunity to sort of double that or triple that and make as much money as he possibly can, all because of some of his friends' mistakes. It's a huge risk element, but there's he knows that through the assistance of this girl that he's starting to really quite like, he could make himself set himself up for life.
Of course, I mean, the film's based on real-life crimes. I'm curious, do you feel there's a danger that these kind of films glamorise the events, or does the end of your characters kind of make it more of a cautionary tale than a celebration?
I think sometimes these things can glamorise things, but I think people have got to realise that in reference to this particular project, it's quite different to the real-life story. I mean, there's things have been there's all kinds of new material that's been added that's not really in any direct correlation to what actually took place as well. So I think sometimes things can be glamorised, but I think it's also important to realise that some movies are just about entertainment, and I think that's key here.
My character is kind of the guy at the butt of all the jokes, and the guy who's always slightly getting it wrong, never really getting it right, goes along with everything, always going along with his friends, and he's very loyal. And so he always gets into all this trouble, maybe doesn't want to, but always does,
What was it like working with people like Alfie and Will and that? Did you get on well on set? Do you get in a lot of trouble on set?
No, not really. Someone was asking me down there, and it sort of would have been great. There would have been some great stories I could tell you right now. They really weren't, but we had a lot of fun. We were quite well behaved, I have to tell you that.
I mean, talking about great stories, the film's based on real life events, but I mean, it's obviously changed quite a lot. But how did you feel about the real crime aspects of it? Because obviously there's a lot of debate about whether or not films like this are glamorising those activities or more cautionary tales. How do you feel about the tone of the film?
It glamorises anything. What I think it does is it says no one is endorsing credit card fraud. And look, I'm the last person who would ever be able to do credit card fraud. I'm literally terrified when I accidentally take a glass from a pub. I think what it's saying is, if people can't get mortgages, young people, and if people can't get the jobs that they want to get, and no one's earning any money and can't get on a property ladder, it's like a cautionary tale. It's like, this isn't going to happen, no one's really going to do this. But if people aren't allowed to kind of thrive and get the jobs that they deserve to get and do what they need to do, then, you know what I mean?
About jobs, what's coming up next for you?
What's going on is a film called Kids in Love that I wrote is coming out later on this year.
I think Will and a few other faces in that.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that, just a quick synopsis.
It's basically a coming of age story. It's kind of it's The Graduate in the 21st century, I guess.
How close is what we see on screen to your real life experiences?
The heist itself is pretty much similar. The violence that's in the film, even though it's not very violent, but there is some violence. In my story, there's no violence. It's just a guy blagging the system. Comical. Just go out there and watch it.
I'm curious. I mean, you talk about blagging the system. I mean, I'm curious. Do you feel like the film runs the danger of glamorising crime, and particularly credit card fraud and those kind of activities?
No, I don't think so. Because if you watch the film, not everything ends well. So no, I don't. And regards to credit card companies, if they concentrated less on profit and more on security, then maybe I wouldn't have done what I did.
How do you feel about the casting of the film, the people on screen? Are they what you would have liked to portray you and your experiences?
Yeah, most definitely. Young, up and coming, BAFTA winner in Will Poulter. Yeah, definite. You've got Emma Rigby, gorgeous. So, yeah.
How directly involved on a daily basis were you with the production? I mean, obviously they consulted you a lot, but I mean, were you there on set? Were you kind of lending out?
Yeah. I was in Miami. I was in London for the filming. So yeah, I was pretty much there. So I wanted to experience. Even if they didn't ask me, I would have been there. Because just to experience the whole thing.
What are you doing when you're not walking the red carpet at the moment with yourself? What's happening in your life now?
Normal things, school runs. I do the school runs. I look after my mum. She's not well. Keeping myself healthy. So pretty much normal things. I'm a normal guy.
just want to go back to the comment you made earlier on about, if the credit card companies paid more attention, you wouldn't have done what you did. Do you have any regrets at all about what you did? I mean, obviously the film kind of, does explore that quite a lot.
Yeah, most definite. Crime doesn't pay. At the end of the day, no one should commit crime. But there's in this day and age, it's so hard to get by. Sometimes people, if they've not got the opportunity, not everyone's silver spoon fed. So I do totally regret what I did. I'm hoping to do some mentoring with kids, explain to them even though this is an amazing story, but do not commit crime. Definitely not.